Now, the dispute over Gibraltar has escalated, with Spain saying it may raise the issue of the territory's sovereignty at the United Nations. And in the last hour, the government has said it's considering legal action against Spain over the additional checks which have been imposed, causing long border delays. All of this comes, of course, as Royal Navy vessels head for the British territory as part of a routine exercise in the Mediterranean. The underlying dispute has gone on for centuries. But this most recent spat erupted last month after Gibraltar dropped concrete blocks into disputed waters to create an artificial reef. Shortly afterwards, Spain toughened up their checks at the border with Gibraltar, causing long traffic queues, 2 hours going into the territory yesterday. Then, Spain's foreign minister suggested that there should be a £40 fee introduced for people who wanted to cross the border, and even closing Spain's airspace to flights headed to Gibraltar. Well, our correspondent Duncan Kennedy is in Portsmouth, which is, of course, where some of these ships have set sail. First of all, Duncan, let's be clear here. This is a routine operation.
The military is, yes. All this flotilla of ships has been pre-planned for many months. One frigate and a couple of auxiliary ships will stop in Gibraltar. The rest of them will then sail on together through the Med, into the Red Sea and down into the Gulf. It's the timing of it that's taking everybody interest in this, particularly for Gibraltarians. They are displaying this as a flag-showing exercise, Britain standing up to the bullying Spain. And until now, the British and Spanish governments have themselves been playing it all down, saying it is just a routine military exercise and it's no more than that. The tension's been slightly ratcheted up, when I say slightly, in the past hour or so, because the Prime Minister has waded into this again in the form of his spokesman telling the lobby in Westminster that he's very disappointed by the Spanish failure to remove those additional border controls, and that now the government, the British government, is seeking advice about legal action against Spain. The Prime Ministerial spokesman went on to say it would be an unprecedented step to take this legal action. The government is considering legal action through the European Union. If we go down this route, we would press upon the EU the need to pursue this with a matter of urgency. And he called, this is the Prime Minister's spokesman, he called Spain's action disproportionate and politically motivated, although it's not quite clear what those legal actions might be. It's probably going to end up to do with the Schengen Agreement, which was signed by the European Union in 1985, updated in 1990, when all borders amongst member nations should be free and open and access to everybody with the right credentials, of course. And the view is that Spain might be acting in contravention of this. The Spanish authorities, though, are saying no, they wouldn't be in contravention of the Schengen Agreement. Now, there is a slight precedent for this. A couple of years ago, the French tried to impose a bit of border controls with the Italians because of the large number of migrants crossing over into France. That went to Brussels. There was a huge diplomatic spat about that. Eventually, some controls were put in place with the agreement of the other member states, but that wasn't legal action, which is what seems to be being proposed here by the British government. That was just simply political action. It's not clear, as I said, what kind of legal action the British government could bring in the European Union. The only thing we know at the moment is that the European Commission is sending a team to Gibraltar to check on these border controls, but they're not due until the month after next. So no immediacy, if you like, from the European Commission. But from this statement from the Prime Minister's spokesman, it does feel as though the British authorities, at least, want to get this resolved much more quickly than that. But how they're going to resolve it with Spain is not yet clear.
Yes, a little extra heat in the story, certainly. Duncan Kennedy in Portsmouth, thank you.